Hi guys, my name is Brooke Norwood. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, which is a fairly large city that is really big on sports. Columbus is mostly known for the Ohio State University Buckeyes football team. Other than that, it's a busy city with not much to do on a daily basis other than really go to a restaurant or go to the park or take a drive. So growing up, I was involved in a lot of different sports. I participated in soccer, gymnastics, competitive cheer, track, and volleyball. So when I was in elementary school, gymnastics and cheer really had my heart. But unfortunately, there was a time where my mom was getting super stressed about me, being injured and still participating in cheer because it was such a vigorous sport. So one day she just pulled me out and I never went back. Throughout middle school and my freshman year of high school, I decided to quit all those other sports and just focus on track and volleyball. Although I was a pretty good hurdler in track, I hated running. And I also have pretty bad asthma, so being outside running in the cold in Ohio 24/7 was just not fun. So after my freshman year track season, I decided to quit running and just focus on volleyball. So I wanted to put all of my efforts into that. Being in high school and participating in sports for as long as I can remember, I could never really imagine myself not being part of an athletic team. So throughout high school, I knew I wanted to continue my career through college. With that being said, sports growing up was my primary focus. So I didn't really think about what I wanted to do career-wise. So I was kind of lost for what professional path I wanted to take throughout college. So volleyball being my main focus, I decided to start my recruitment process and trying to find a university to play volleyball at. And I ended up committing to go to school at Middle Georgia State University, which is a small school in Macon, Georgia. So still up to this point in my life, even when I committed, I really didn't know what I wanted to do professionally. So I went into my freshman year undecided on a major, given I still had no clue what I wanted to do. So throughout my freshman year, I took a lot of general education classes, and I just took a variety of different classes, but the main ones I enjoyed were psychology. The problem with that was I knew I only wanted to be in college for my 4 years of undergrad, and going to grad school for another 4 years was really never an option for me. So psychology really didn't seem like the smartest path to go on if I wanted to get a great job. I didn't really end up enjoying my time at Middle Georgia, so I ended up entering the transfer portal in hopes of transferring to a different university my sophomore year, and that is exactly what I did. I ended up taking a visit to Winston-Salem State University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I love the team, I love the campus, so I committed to play volleyball here instead. And that's where I'm at now. I'm at Winston-Salem State University. Because I was going into my second year of college, I knew I couldn't really go undecided again because soon I was going to have to start taking major specific classes. Still was lost on what I wanted to do because I knew psychology wasn't the route, but I didn't know what other route to go. So there was just really a lot of confusion, a lot of sense of lostness. So I ended up kind of blindly choosing business. I remember my first semester of my sophomore year being in my business classes, and I was just so bored. I did not have one care in the world about what my professors would be talking about. It was just really boring and really it didn't grab my attention at all. So with that being said, I knew that wasn't really the major for me. So I knew I wanted to switch my major. Still didn't know really what job I wanted when I was to graduate. So I did a lot of research. I did a lot of thinking back to the past. I did a lot of thinking about what I really enjoyed to do. Did a lot of talking to my friends, my family, and I thought back to what I really liked to do in high school, and I remembered that I would always be pretty excited to do interviews, which mostly came from sports. I was a part of our school's like TV news program. So I really enjoyed doing that because we would be on the air, on the TVs throughout the school, and we would just be talking. So I really like to do that, and I really enjoy like media and learning about advertisement and things like that. So with that being said, I decided to switch my major to mass communications. So with that being said, I went into my second semester of sophomore year, being a mass communications major, and I was hoping to be a news anchor someday. I'm still in the mass communications field, and I'm super confident in my choice to switch. And I will be graduating with my bachelor's in mass communications with a focus on applied communication in May 2025. So now I'm living in South Florida, specifically Fort Lauderdale, which is a very busy city. And living there has given me so many opportunities and insight career-wise. Just living in the city has given me a lot more confidence in choosing the major that I chose and sticking with it. I find something new within the major that interests me very often. But at this point in my life, instead of being a news anchor, I'm more interested in going into public relations and advertisement within the mass communications field. Living in South Florida has done a lot for my career choices. It's a really big city, and there's a ton of celebrities that live out there, and overall just a ton of people who are super wealthy, which helped me realize how badly a lot of people are in need of a private PR manager. So the job is definitely needed. On top of this, with apps like TikTok and Instagram continuing to grow, and content creation being a more favorable thing that a lot of people want to do now, there's a lot of room for advertisement and public relations jobs. On top of that, I've always kind of been into content creation, but being in South Florida and getting the opportunity to meet a lot of successful content creators kind of inspired me to do that myself as well. I haven't really taken it serious, but I do think it's a fun thing to do in my free time, and if it can get me a little bit of money on the side and maybe get me some brand deals, etc., free clothing, then I say why not? So that's another thing that living in Florida has allowed me to explore. So now my plan is, after I graduate, I want to find a job that really suits my interest and allows me to just stay true to myself and be myself and be open. I'm super open to traveling and moving states, given that I've lived in 4 different states in the past 2 years. So in 5 years, I'm hoping to be living in my own place and having an enjoyable and well-paid job with a flexible schedule. And the cherry on top of all that would be to have a job that pays me to travel and build meaningful connections with others. So yeah, that's my A story, and this is me. So thank you.